Today we're going to be taking a look at my 20 third-party watch band collections on the Apple Watch Ultra. I have a problem when it comes to watch bands. I just keep buying them. I already made a video on the Apple branded ones, and I'll link that at the very end of this video and in the description below. Let's start off and look at the sports style watch bands I have for the Apple Watch Ultra. We're gonna start this video off with a knockoff band. This is the Trail Loop knockoff, and this one, I believe I only spent like 20 bucks on this band. Apple sells it for 100, but I can tell you this band is not as high quality as the one that Apple has, but it does its job and it looks pretty good overall. It's just, I can already see that part of the band is fraying a little bit, and that's kind of a bummer, but that's what you get when you go with a $20 band over Apple's $100. I feel like there needs to be somewhere in the middle there. Apple's got that $100 price tag now, and that's where they're staying. Next up is another knockoff. This is the Alpine Loop knockoff. It's in white. It does okay. I don't really like the way the buckle works on this one very well. It sticks out way more than the one from Apple. Once again, this is a $20 band over the $100 that Apple sells for. The next two bands that I have are from Moby. They collab with DC, Marvel, Harry Potter, all these amazing companies and stuff, and they theme their bands. They have watch faces that go along with them. I have this one, which is a flash band, and then I also have this Mandalorian band, and I love both of these bands. They seem to be made out of a silicone, and they just fit great, look great. I also have a Groove Life band. I don't know if you've heard of this company, but they make pretty cool bands. The underside of this band actually has like cutouts to where it's supposed to be more breathable. I think it actually works. Like, it definitely feels like my wrist doesn't sweat as much with this band. Overall, I really like this band. The outside, I love that they have like these different patterns. It's just enough to separate it from Apple's sport band. I also have a band that I bought from Disney. This is a D-Tech band, and I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of this band. It still works, it still looks okay, and it's Mandalorian, so you can't go too far off. I just feel like it's not worth the price. I believe this was like a $35 band. I wanted to take a moment and just talk about the hardware. So the lugs on these are actually stainless steel, and to me, the match between the titanium and the stainless steel drives me completely insane. So what I've done to a few of these is I've actually taken a brush wool pad that I bought from Amazon, and I've just brushed the lugs with this, and that's removed that shine, which makes it match way better with the matte finish of the titanium. I have a link down below for the brush pad. It's only like 10 bucks, so it's well worth it. I have two more in this category, and it is a Aura band. This band I honestly haven't used that much. I got sent this band a while back, and what it does, it's supposed to detect your hydration. So they've actually made a newer version of it, and it's supposed to do even more, and there's like a subscription model with it and all this stuff. It has its own app, and you basically just wear it, put your fingers on it to measure like your hydration level, but you can only take it so many often. It's for those people that really want to know what their hydration is, because it's a little cumbersome, so it's not that easy to do. But if you want that info, this is the band apparently for you, and it just seems cool. To me, it was just too much to deal with. I'd rather just use a water tracking app and just track my intake versus trying to track my hydration level. The other band that I put in this category that's kind of a little bit more than a sports band is the wrist cam. This one actually has two cameras on it. I have a whole video on that. I'll put a link down below to that. Honestly, the Ultra is where this thing shines the most, because that extra screen space to be able to see what you're taking a picture or video of is really nice. Just the bulkiness of this band fits a little bit better with the bulkiness of the Ultra. It's a use case band. If you really want something like hardcore to put on your wrist, this is the band to go with. Before we move on to the leather bands, I did want to mention these watch band holders. I actually 3D print myself. I do sell them. I have a link down below if you're interested in them at all. If not, no big deal. But if you are, I just wanted to share it, so it's down below. The first band I'm going to show you for the leather one is from Nomad. This band also is like, it's a leather, but it's an active leather band. So this one actually has components in it. The back of it is like a silicone. The top of it is some kind of the waterproof leather and it looks nice, but I mean, you can swim with this band and just do whatever you want, work out, everything with this band. So the other band that I have that's like this, now this one's not swim proof. This leather is more actual leather, but it does have that underlying silicone as well. And this is that Groove Life or Groove Life. I can't remember the actual name, but this band looks pretty cool. It's very, you know, nice looking on the outside, but then the inside of it has that silicone, so if you do want to work out or you're sweating, you don't have to worry about ruining the leather of the band. Another band that I'm a big fan of is this Pad and Quill band. They make so much awesome leather stuff. This band is right there with it. I believe this is like a pilot band. It has a mixture of like a nylon and leather, and I think it looks awesome. Back at it again with another Nomad band. This one's all leather, but it's nice and thick and looks good. If you're one of those people that like thicker bands, this is the band for you. I'm not a huge fan of the thicker bands, but people like them. It's got the nice stitching on it. The stitching has kind of worn off. I've worn this band a lot, and it's gotten a lot of use through the many years that this band has been on my wrist. I do have a couple more knockoff bands. I'm not even really sure if these are real leather, but they're the leather loop knockoffs, and I have one in red that Apple never made. I don't know why they never made a red leather loop. The red and the titanium, I don't know what it is, but I just think it looks so good together. The other one that I have is white, and I think it looks pretty good too, but for me personally, I like that red a little bit more. The last ones in the leather category are my favorite leather bands that I've ever worn. These are from a company called Form Function Form. I have a blue, like a reddish, and then a brown color band, and I love these bands. They are one size to fit, and it's a stud button band, but it's so minimal. It's like you do not feel that this band is on you. And it's leather, which you don't get with anything else that anybody else has offered. All the Apple bands, all the other third parties, if they use leather, for whatever reason, you have so much overlap all over your wrist, and you don't get that with these bands. And they look so good, and I honestly want every single color that is offered on these bands. So definitely highly recommend these, which is also why I have so many of them. Now we're on to the metal category, and you don't want to miss the last one because honestly I think it's the best band for the Apple Watch Ultra. It looks so good. But first off, we're going to be talking about the Pitaka carbon fiber watch band. This band is crazy. It's so lightweight, you kind of just lose. Like, I mean, it's insane how lightweight this band is. It's a very unique looking band, and it also uses magnets to connect, which wasn't the first band I ever had that had a magnet connection like this, and it kind of worried me a little bit, but this thing has held on really well. I've not had any problems with it, and it just looks cool. I also have a black titanium Nomad band. This one was their first generation of the bands. They actually have a new generation that uses the magnets as well, and this black one looks really good with the titanium. It's a way to class up your watch some, and you know, as long as you're okay with that contrast color, I honestly think it looks good. I know everybody has their own opinions. This is one way to class up the Apple Watch Ultra, but by far my favorite band for the Apple Watch Ultra is the titanium band from Nomad. That's actually the titanium color. This band matches so well. This thing's like near impossible to get right now. I mean, we're talking like last time I looked, it was like going back and forth between January or maybe even the springtime before you could get this watch band. I am amazed at how well they match the titanium that Apple uses. I love this band. It is my go-to band. If I want to class up my Apple Watch Ultra at all, this is the band I wear because it just matches perfectly. It looks great. It's well worth it, and I just love it. But if third-party watch bands aren't really your style and you'd rather buy them from Apple, I have a whole video right here that shows the Ultra with over 25 Apple Watch bands. So just click right there to see that one, and I'll see you all in the next one. God bless.